Okay, once, I'm gonna put one more fork right here. And once again, you just want the forks or whatever object you're using to break up the space. The next thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna start drawing lines on it. And the lines are very random. Make sure you have a ruler to make it straight. So I'm just gonna, and all I'm trying to do is break up the space into small portions. I don't want big chunks. I want smaller pieces on my paper. So that means however many lines it takes to break this up. So however many lines it takes for me to break this space up, that's what I'm gonna have to do. So I can't tell you how many it's gonna take you. For me, I mean, I just have to do enough of them where these boxes aren't so big. Next thing I'm gonna do is take my cup and I'm gonna start tracing my circles around. And I'm gonna do this all around the paper. Essentially, I'll keep on doing that, doing different size circles. And so what I have is kind of, you get to this point where you have the circles, the lines, and your image. Now what we're gonna start doing is start working with value. So what's important is that I'm gonna pick a place to start, and wherever I start, I'm gonna work out from that spot. So I can't skip around because you'll see in just a minute, it's like a puzzle that has to fit together. So if I were to start right here, in every individual space, you're not coloring inside the item that you drew, you'll leave that the white of the paper, but every other space, I'm gonna give it a full range of values. So I'm gonna start very dark. So on your value chart, this is the darkest value that you had, and I'm gonna work on making this value and lighten it up back to the white of the paper so that I have a full range of values. So I'm gonna very lightly, and I'm gonna use my pencil. Remember, as you go, you add less pressure to make it lighter. One trick that's gonna help you out is by holding the end of the pencil. When you hold the end of the pencil, it takes pressure off of it and makes it a little bit easier to control the light value. So to fade this in, I'm just gonna come back on top of it and layer it. And so I have a full range of value. So now what I'm gonna do is, this went from dark to light. Right here at this end where it's light, I wanna go opposite. So what I'm gonna do is make this dark right here. So this part is gonna be dark. You always want light and dark side by side. You never want two lights side by side or two darks side by side. You wanna alternate the values. And I'm trying to keep this as neat as possible. So as I'm doing this, I wanna be very neat and stay within the lines. The neater you are, the better it looks at the end. Your final product is gonna look amazing if you're able to keep it really neat. Once again, holding the end of the pencil helps you control it and keep that light value. This is gonna be a time-consuming project. It's not just one where you rush through it. At the end, when you submit these, I can tell the people that actually took their time and the people that rushed through it. The people that rush through it are generally the ones that you can tell they don't have a full range of values. So within every shape, I should see a full range. And that's gonna take time. This is not something that's done, this project is not one that's completed in 30 minutes. This is a project that you're gonna have to work with over a course of a couple of days if you want it done correctly. So I have a full range there. And even with the way I'm doing it, if this were my project, I would be coming back and making them as neat as possible. So from here, Remember, we're not touching inside the fork, so the fork stays the stays the white of the paper. So I'm not messing with the fork. But what I am gonna do is, remember, we're gonna work side by side. So this shape right here, since this is light, I'm gonna make this part dark. And the corners of dark to dark can touch, but I shouldn't have any dark to dark touching back to back. Like right here, this wouldn't be dark. This would end up being light because it's opposite. But on this particular shape right here, I'm gonna go dark and I'm gonna fade to light. This ends up being a larger shape, so I can take the darkness out a little bit further than I would in some shapes. The bigger the shape, the more you would take the darkness out. The smaller the shapes, the smaller the fade. So with this one, since it's a larger space, I can, I can work with it more and make it more gradual. Remember that trick I told you, holding the end of the pencil? And I'm gonna work on just blending this in with my pencil. I don't want you smudging it. If we were in class, I would give you blending stumps where you can blend it, but I think this is a better way to teach you how to do it without having to smudge it and do all that. Plus, I think it's kind of a cool texture that we end up with just using your pencil. So I'm gonna continue on with that. So here's an example of one. I just did the corner, but as you can see, you start to see the different values. So within each shape, there's a full range of values, and that makes the work more interesting. And so I would complete this entire sheet using this same formula, going light to dark or dark to light. Like I said, this is something that's gonna take a while. It's not something I expect for you to finish in a class period. This is something that I expect for you to for you to take at least 2 class periods to do, because it is a time-consuming activity, and it's something that's very meticulous, and you have to really take your time and work on it. While you're working, if you notice, like right here, this is a larger space. You can always come back if it's too large. You can always come back, and I'm gonna cheat by making this space a little bit smaller. And I'm just gonna cheat by drawing a line right there. And I can't take the line beyond because I already started that part. But if I see any big spaces like that, I can break up those spaces to help the project and make it a little bit easier on you. So this is our value project that we're gonna be working on for the next couple of days. And this is the way it's gonna look. All right.